Goera is one of the strongest god in the stories of Garos. Though he is worshipped as the god of thunder by mortals, he was born from a demigod father named Misi Chipimpa and a demigod mother named Nodoi Notaki, also known as Kaburun Che, thus making Goera another demigod. Now as we talk about it, let us hear the short story of Goera's early life and his maternal uncles. Now after 7 long years of carrying the baby in her womb, Nodo Notaki finally gave birth to Goera. With his tiny cry that echoed through the air, signaled the arrival of a new life. And on that blessed day, the 2 beloved maidservants of his great-grandmother, Bisikram Bida Tore, selflessly served as midwives, guiding the newborn into the world. And as we talk about Goera's arrival, his birth was very strange and peculiar. He was born with full teeth and was very clever and intelligent, unlike any other babies. After a year had passed one day, Nodo Notaki rose at dawn to take bath in a nearby stream, leaving her sleeping baby alone in the house. The baby was laid on the floor, surrounded by curtains of blue silk and golden muslin. But as soon as Nodo Notaki's back was turned, baby Goera got up and made his way to a house called Nak Ponte, which was also the bachelor's house in the village, where a lot of long drums were hung on hooks of granite stone in the main room of the dwelling. Now upon reaching the place, Goera began to beat the drums frenziedly and danced as all babies would do. Nodo Notaki, upon hearing the sound, apprehended that someone was messing her newborn child, so she hurried back from the stream, and when she walked in, she was surprised to see her baby dancing vigorously, beating the drums madly and hilariously, shouting out his own name all alone by himself. The baby, as he caught sight of his mother, rushed to her, and she breastfeeded and lulled him to sleep. For no sooner had his mother departed a second time, he woke up once again and wandered about the village and its surroundings and learned about them. And a while later, he still managed to return to the house and sleep again before his mother arrived. And when he was awoke, his mother fondled him lovingly. The child danced on her lap in the most martial manner. Nodo Notaki kept silent about the strange ways of her baby and pondered his actions deeply in her heart, and sincerely wondered what a being he would grow up to be. After a few months, Nodo Notaki and her husband, Misi Chipimpa, along with their kids, moved to a place called. There they settled near the river, and a grand purification ceremony, known as Horipa, was performed upon the mother and the father for the commitment of incest between the two. Nodo Notaki's older brothers and her younger brothers, who were supposed to be Goera's maternal uncles, all took active parts in this imposing ceremony. They were respectively called Rokman Meha, Chenman Pante, Athik Sintik, Dina Opet, Didi Rangpet, Akabal Arbalbel, and Aning Doa Nagara, Chining Doa Nagarjab. And after a few years, Goera's oldest sister, Sikmeja Dolmeja, had been forcefully abducted by Silja Wachingja, a man gifted with the power to turn into wolf. Another one was Goera's second sister, Anameya Ginameja, who was also carried off by Achakja Matija, Wingyal Wachingil, Tongra Mengusim, a man gifted with the power to turn into black canine beast. And his third sister, Majakshi Kasindik, was also forcefully kidnapped by Buga Raja, the head of the sermon. All these abductions had taken place for the purposes of marriage. Now, as we've heard the lost sisters of Goera, he also had another older sister, who was the fourth sister after Majakshi Kasindik. Her name was Nasekja Nabalja, and the other one was the fifth sister, who was his immediate older sister, called Nire Sanja, who then fell in love with Wanawanga. And a bit later, Goera had 2 younger sisters called Du-Ra and Noe Noto, and the youngest among all the siblings, including himself, was his younger brother named Kalkame. He was the youngest child of Misi Chipimpa and Nodo Notaki. Now one day, Goera's maternal uncles, Ropman Meha and Chenman Pante, started off for the Fawagading in Dimble Hill to purchase a black goat, which they had promised to give their father Misi Saljong before Goera's birth. As they journeyed through a village called Rangawak, Rangsaljong, they stopped to rest on what appeared to be a rocky outcropping, only to discover it was actually the tongue of the giant 7-headed monster boar, known as Walkmaganchi Aragandi. Unluckily, the 2 uncles were immediately swallowed at once. When this monstrous creature stood up, its proboscis touched the Dura hill while his tail lay submerged in the waters of the Songdu River. The sight of this monster in that posture was very terrible and awe-inspiring, People trembled with fear at the mere mention of these monster boar, who roamed where it pleases without any interference, as if it were the sole master of the whole world. It devoured every living thing that crossed its path and destroys crops in the fields, and also devastated the whole countrysides. If you want to continue the story of this monstrous beast, like, share, and subscribe, and press the bell icon. We'll see you in the next video.